This is episode 12 of turning 1 Solana into 100 using the METEORA DLMM, and today I made a mistake. I went against my usual strategies and I ended up top blasting a lot of coins and taking a lot of losses on these. I did manage to still eke out a tiny profit, ending on about 67.5 Solana, up from I think around 65 Solana, but it was quite tough. But as always in trading, you live and you learn, and hopefully I won't make these mistakes again moving forward. But if you want to see exactly what I do, make sure to watch the rest of the video. This is the first trade in the new episode, and what we're trying to do is trade this JetSki token, and it's a new one. It's one of these DAO utility tokens, and it's just so difficult to catch in range right now. I'm still trying to research it, but the thing is you just have to buy some tokens and kind of go 50-50. Because it's so volatile, the fees are just insane. You can see I just pumped out of range. I made a tiny bit of fees before going out again, but what I'm going to have to do is withdraw, try and get back in range. There's not too much skill to it. I'm just trying to get something like that so I can get the fees, as you can see the volume right now. So I've just claimed some fees, but they are insane. I'm going to up my deposit a bit. I just put this random curve on as I saw, and I am tempted to sell my fees. I get burnt way too much on plays like these, even though you can see the huge sells coming in. I think I'm going to up my curve though. I'm just going to pretty much just see this in live. I'm just going to add another 3. So we're just going a bit kind of balls to the wall of this one right now. Hopefully it dips down and pumps back up, which I think it will do. I'm hopeful. So it's kept on going, and you can just see the volume. Every single minute has over 100k. We haven't seen this for a while. So it looks like my curve had 7.5 in total. I didn't want to up it as that can be risky. I'm holding on to some of my fees for now, but I've just let this go. Imagine if I did put maybe 20 sol into this, it would have been a lot better, but you can see the TVL has shot up. So I only put $1,000 in. It should have been maybe $3,000, and we got some proper fees, as the risk of this dumping straight out is very low with just seeing the amount of buys that are going in. So I just closed out those positions. As you can see, the price went down. I did sell, I think, probably on one of these green I think at the top of that green candle right there. So I did miss out on that, but there's no worries. My fees heavily outweighed any IL, any impermanent loss which I made, and I'll actually pull up the profit card so hopefully you can see. So this was my first position. As you can see, it's not actually a very large profit because I did take some impermanent loss, as I said. But then I was able to go a few minutes later and get another $100, and I think I have 1 or 2 other curves, but you know, going through my transactions is a bit of a mess, but roughly this was most of the profit I made. So just a little update with this curve, and you can see it has just completely crashed all of the way from the top of 1.5 million down to under 200k. And I thought this might happen. That's why I was happy with my profits. And after that, I maybe re-entered once, but as you can see the yellow lines, I didn't actually keep this position open. I did make this announcement. I think that the coin is following the utility meta, but I don't see how that coin can sustain when there's only like $2,000 in their basket to invest, which is literally nothing. It doesn't value their token at anything. It's been done before. It's nothing special. It got a quick ride of hype. There was maybe an opportunity down there, but I was out, and I'm just happy with my profits, and that's why I move on to the next coin. So while I was out straight after this, I actually went to the gym, and lucky for me, I managed to make this $82 about. I think that's pretty accurate. So this was actually in the work pool once again. So I made it between these 2 yellow lines here with a bid ask. It's closed out right now because I was out, as I said, but it had a very big drop. I imagine this was a maybe $5,000 dump in one clip, but then it got bought up a bit, I'd imagine, by another similar buy, as this coin, even though it's only 600k, it is semi-stable, and you can see it actually ranged. So I could have left that curve open and made a lot more fees rather than simply $82. But I think I will make a new one overnight, as I think this pool has more to give. So it did in fact have more to give. As you can see, my total fees are a lot higher now, and I'm simply just using the same bid ask curves on the coin with varying amounts of sol, and the coin pumped up. And you know, the reason I was originally pulling this coin is because I liked it, and it kind of did what I thought. So it pumped up, I got a bit of the range, then it went up again. I've not pulled this. I was hoping maybe it would drop back into this channel for a little bit, but I've just been able to make fees slowly through that. But there is a few more things I did overnight. So what I did was I also pulled BB. I went back in. So what I did was I put 2.5 Solana in, and it's a 250 bin curve covering around this range. And these are pretty much all coins which are on my watch list. So I'll scroll up and I'll be able to find the BB coin. You'll be able to see what my range is. There's nothing too special about it. I've just picked kind of this range here, and it may be 10% the night before. Now it looks like it has dropped a lot. You can see the percent is 8%, so it's a bit lower now. Now for the rest of these, there's nothing too special. They are just some memes which have popped up on the day, which I think look maybe okay. So with Mope, it's a little bit risky, but it has been going up and down. You can see what my range is right here, and that's been making me some small fees. Maybe I'm trying to get 10% on all of these positions. And we also have Look, that pumps straight out. Pin, these are all just, as I said, the quick kind of plays. So I can click on them, and we can see roughly what the fees are like. So if I can get out the top of my range, I didn't even put one Solana in this one. And I also have Pin. So that's a bit down my range, but hopefully the fees will offset it. We also have FOMO as well, and we can generate a few fees by that, and it's nearly at the top as well. So these are all just giving me a little bit of fees. So that actually comes out to about 0.3 Solana across all of these positions, which is actually quite good. When I was just doing an experiment with a lot of these, just setting up bid asks overnight into some new kind of meme coins to see if the impermanent loss or the fees will outweigh each other. So overall, that experiment probably was break even or a bit of a fail. And I say that because this coin, which was one of the ones I had a pull on, actually went straight out the bottom. As you can see, I sold right there. Took probably a 0.2 Solana loss. I actually closed the Look right out there. So that was probably a tiny gain, but not very much because I had a bid ask curve open. And finally, we do have this FOMO curve, but as you can see, it's been at the bottom of my curve for ages. So this will probably be a tiny loss, maybe under 0.1, but nothing massive. Overall, I was actually still up on the day, but it's never good either way. And that brings me to what did I do to actually make these gains to still be profitable on the day, as I have been profitable every single day doing DLMMs. And that is due to these curves I posted right here just before I went to sleep. So I have had this BB pool open for a while, nothing too interesting, just going in my range, printing me, trying to give me 5 to 10% fees, but it has slowed down a bit. But we do also have this work pool, which I posted about earlier on in this episode, but the way we make a lot of the money is just in the same pools. And as you can see, I've got a lot of fees, and this is only from 6 Solana. So I've made over 1 Solana from just 6. You can see my 24-hour fee is huge, double what the pool is. And this is because of just my curve. So as you can see, these yellow lines are where I made it. And a lot of people, they would have top blasted and they would have had their curves up here like that, and they would have impermanent loss right now. But thanks to me setting it lower, about 20 to 30%, that is actually quite a distance. And instead of setting it right at this support, I actually went lower down to here. There was no particular reason. A bit of intuition, a bit of experience, and as you can see, someone had a massive dump and then we pumped straight from it back down and up, and this is what gave me the fees. So you can see I'm not at the top of my curve, but when I go onto it, you can see I have Solana and I have some tokens and my fees. So if I add these together, 200,000 at 54,000 in Jupiter, I put 260,000 about. I have 2.5 at 3.7 is over, that's sort of 6.2 Solana. So that's already 0.2 Solana profit. But then I also have all this, which is profit. So I can close out this second and still be profitable. You can see it's actually still going back down since I'm started recording. Still some people selling. So I can either close it now, I could wait till it goes back down, close it, and I'll have even less profit, or I can wait and potentially it goes a bit higher. Obviously, this is the most risky. So this is the next update into this position. So what ended up happening was the price actually dropped out the bottom of my curve as we had Solana dip, I think another $10 or something, and it actually went quite a bit below. So what I did was I actually did rebalance. Looking back, I could have left my curve and now I would be back in range on my old curve, but I did fall out. And at the time, I just wanted to be more safe. So what I did was I sold half of my tokens. Then I made a new curve, which was 50-50. So I didn't want to just sell them all on the market. I wanted to do this in case I can lock up more profit. And if I do pull up Metlex, you can see that that position was still profitable, but not very much. And this is actually an underestimate because what we've done is we made a new curve. We've got another whole bunch of fees, and we also get we're actually going to end up in a pretty similar amount. We're probably going to get, in total, I'm speaking kind of before, but about 0. maybe 4 solana of impermanent loss if I sell it all now. But the gain is obviously what I made in my last curve in the pool, and also this gain, so it's definitely a lot more. I will work it out exactly, we'll know when I close out all my pools. In regards to one of the other pools I have, this BB pool, the fees have gone right down. It is not 7%, I think it is actually more like 1%. And for the risk, even though I like the coin, it's not really worth having it in a curve right now, as I will just be missing out on token profits, as you know, the fees I get from this pool, as you can see, $32,400, it's really not worth it at this point. But what that does is lead me straight onto a new coin which I have been trading, and that is the Snoofy coin. So what we had is a retracement from the highs, and it did actually dip all the way down 42%, which for us is quite good. It gave me an entry, which is what I wanted. So I entered, I bought some spot around this point, I bought $300 worth. And if I go back onto Meteora, open the Snoofy coin, we can see that in my position, I deposited the token, then I deposited my SOL, and you can see some of the fees it has generated in the last day. Obviously, the 24-hour TVL is less, but for a coin such as this, which has been quite stable at this kind of price range, this is quite a good print for us. I can close it out right now. That's all profit. I haven't taken any token losses. And as you can see, I did mention it last night when I did buy the token, then token pumped as I did enter background here, and we set this quite nice spot range up. Okay, so it's been a bit quiet. It's a Sunday, but there has been one coin which has just started popping off, and this is a more degen coin, but it's the Husky coin. It's launched on Moonshot, which is integrated with Meteora, so there's no radium pool, and it just means the fees are much higher. But the reason this one is so good is because Mitch, who is probably the biggest meme KOL right now, tweeted about it. He's obviously doing it for his personal gain, but the volatility is insane. If I pull over the chart, it's a bit slow to update, but 5 minutes has gone up 50%. It will definitely come down crashing hard at some point, but right now it is just pumping. I was actually on my phone, so I couldn't get in really early and make buy coins and make a position, which really sucks, but I'm just trying to capitalize on it right now. Literally just going spot and chasing it and seeing what the fees are like. So it is the next morning, and I am looking at a tweet I just put out, but as you can see, I've got this massive minus 215, and that is because the coin pretty much rugged. If we just look at it quickly, I mean, if you were around on the day, you would have seen this and might have been involved, but I had a pool open somewhere about here, and then it just, you know, did another minus 50%. So obviously I got a massive minus, even though my curve was set up right down here. You know, the outlook on the coin was really good. It's just the KOLs who were behind it just didn't want to be part of it anymore, which sucks, but it sometimes happens. We just go back to the tweet, you can see I did have a lot of profitable positions and Debo just now, which was really good. So looking at Debo, you can see that I just had a few profit cards with it, but the FDV is at 1.2 million with this rapid shoot up, and I was actually had a pool open right down here. But if I go in Discord, you can see the screenshot, and you can see I had this pool open for a few days. Actually, I posted it yesterday, but I wasn't it before, with only about 1.3 Solana, and this was actually in quite a narrow pool, and it was right down here, and then it shot up, and I am still holding my fees. So this is a coin which very early, many episodes ago, you will remember we had some bid-ask curves over here, and that was working out very well. But the thing is, the coin held up above that 500k market cap and always had this big buying pressure every time. So a lot of people thought it might have been a dead coin, but in fact it wasn't. And all it took was eventually some tweets by some, you know, influential figures once again, and it had a massive rise up. And this is partly because of the really good art. It's kind of following on from the frog meme. And right now, I'm not in a position, as you just saw. I closed them all out. But what I'm thinking right now is, zooming out a bit, I don't see this dropping back down to where it was. That because it held up above there without pretty much any tweets from any KOLs, as I just said. So it has just gone to 1.2. It went up to 1.7 on the rise. I'm thinking above 1 million, I think it will stay at. I think there isn't too much in the pool still either. There is a bit more, 9,000. I think there's another pool that's 250 bin. So I'm thinking, I think maybe a position in both. So a spot position in the wider one and then a bid ask in this one. And the reason to do that is just it gives you more options. It means if you drop out of the narrow one, potentially you're not losing as much. I have done that before a few times, and you can kind of compare fees, see which is better. But overall, looking in the pool, you can actually see that there isn't a lot in this pool of the TVL. These are all quite low numbers, which quite good to see. You can see there's actually 9k, and if I bump this number right up, you will see most of it is someone actually trying to sell out and actually creating a bit of a sell wall. So we don't actually really want to get involved with that. We want to stay down here ideally. And honestly, now that the token is taking a bit of a downturn from the top, I'm potentially thinking of buying some spot if we can go a bit lower. Maybe if we hit 1 million or this support line right here, I will buy some spot and go one-sided. So I'm actually going to wait a tiny bit to see if that does happen. So I'm just knocking something up now, but I'm thinking probably something from the current price down to 5.8 maybe. I think that should be pretty safe. That is a minus 40%, and I don't think we'll hit that. And I do also still have my tokens, so what I did is I made another position upwards with my tokens, but not all of them, only half. These are just some I don't mind selling, but I think I will generate some fees from that. So I'm actually just going to stick, I think, 3 Solana in right now, and I might add the other as a spot on top. But obviously bid ask means most of my swapping will be done lower down, more tokens in these bins, as you can see when the price is zero, when the price is down here, more of my tokens will be swapped out, rather than at the top it will be a lot less, where I assume volume will be a lot lower while the coin kind of wraps up around this key level right here. So it has been a tiny bit of time. I did make a tiny bit of profit on that, but not much that didn't stay in my range. But other than that, I made this Billy position. Probably not the best idea. It has made me some fees, but it's quite slow, and I will need the whole Solana market to kind of push for that to come back. And there's been a few moonshot launches, which is a different launch pad, and I'm in one position right now. As you can see, it just did actually take a massive turn down. It was literally a second ago just right at the top, but the fees have been pretty decent as well, so hopefully that goes back up. Overall, I am on about 70 Solana right now as well. It's a bit difficult to tell as I have these open, but hopefully we can close them out and keep that amount of profit.